Tuesday, October 13th at Fox Squirrel Ridge Station. That's Pickens Rural. And Wednesday, October 14th at Central Number 2. That's the county station. So please plan to attend and encourage people to attend. Director Gibson and myself will be at those. We'll divide up that responsibility and try to educate the public as much as we can on what the proposals are. I can also tell you that this Thursday, Director Gibson has been invited. I was not invited, but Director Gibson was invited to come and speak to conservatives of the upstate about the fire fee proposal. So he's going to come and speak to them about that. Excited for him to be able to.
The room is open.
There actually is, I would say that's a good idea. There is a sign that is perfect for that, and it's something I didn't talk to you about. You may have noticed the TVs in the lobbies when you came in. There's one right there that's perfect for that. I'll make sure that information goes up. In each of the little common areas of the county administration building, there's much smaller than this, but there's now a TV for rolling announcements. That came online just this last week, so we'll put that up there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roper. Excuse me. We'll move on to item number 5, our committee report. The Committee of the Whole met in the main conference room of this facility on Monday, August the 17th. And log number 124, ordinance number 573, establishing a trust fund for indigent medical treatment in Pickens County pursuant to the provisions of the Medical Indigent Assistance Act to further define requirements and procedures for disbursement from the trust fund and matters related thereto. There was no action taken by the committee. Log number 157, the scenic highway overlay. There was no action taken on that. On log number 151 is the ordinance number 590, amending the uniform ordinance for fire protection districts as previously enacted by ordinance number 404, as amended by ordinance number 405 and ordinance number 571, to consolidate certain existing fee-payer fire protection districts through the creation of a new unified fire protection district and other matters related thereto. We made the motion to move this out of committee for second reading with the provision of changing the language and then for it to be recommitted back to the Committee of the Whole. This was a motion that was seconded, so it came to us unanimously. So no seconds required because this comes as a recommendation from the committee. But I'd like to ask for us to, if there's any discussion on the second reading of ordinance number 590, amending the uniform ordinance for fire protection districts that I had read earlier. Is there any discussion on that right now? Councilman Piper.
Can I ask from staff, when you make changes to something, you highlight it? It really helps us that are trying to figure out, we ask for specific changes, and I'm going through here and having this one and going back and forth and trying to make sure. This is something that's pretty standard in the legal world. Am I not correct on this?
It is. We did not get a red line from the firm. I did not get that. I did give an outline and overview of what change were.
So in here we're looking at, there's a couple of particular words that we were trying to clean up.
You'll see that
I saw that, yeah.
the language of the ordinance was made clear and reorganized based on easy for the public to understand about the consolidation. So that language has changed. Clearly, the 3 county village districts are not affected. The fee schedule will be set by the annual budget and their annual process. That's specific. And the ordinance now clarifies the historical identity of the fire stations.
So we have 4 districts.
Yeah, so we built 4 districts.
Right. And one district will have 10 separate fire districts in it that are historically intact.
That's right. So all it will change is basically going to collaborate from a budgetary standpoint.
Okay. Just in the future, it helps.
Any other questions, discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. That motion carries. I do want to, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. I know y'all think I knew it. See, it's because I'm talking all the time. I do want to make a point that I mentioned the wrong date. The Committee of the Whole met in the main conference room September the 21st of this year. So I apologize for that. Moving on, log number 152, was on the procurement process. No action was taken by the committee, and that's all I have to report from our committee of the whole report. Let me move on to our next item, which is number 6, council correspondence. So the committee of the whole will meet next Monday, October the 19th at 6 o'clock in the main conference room. We also are going to have a special called meeting on Monday, October the 26th at 6 o'clock for a capital improvement plan discussion. This meeting will be held in the main conference room. And the next council meeting will be on Monday, November the 2nd at 6:30 in the auditorium. Is there anyone else have anything for council correspondence? Cool. We'll move on to number 7. This is motion period and new business. So we're now in our motion period for new business. Does any member have any motions at this time?
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion to make. It's to pass an ordinance to make Pickens County a Second Amendment sanctuary county and to have a first reading in title only tonight and to move this to the committee of the whole for discussion.
Second. All right, so there's a motion for first reading and title only of a Pickens County ordinance for a sanctuary county for, how did you say it?
Pickens County.
A sanctuary, just sanctuary.
Second
Amendment sanctuary county. For a Second Amendment. And second, any discussion?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what we're trying to do. Because I guess my concern here,
You can't talk.
as you guys are talking, is that we have no jurisdiction on the Second Amendment rights.
Well,
I mean, I understand, and the point is, if suddenly, let's say the federal government came in and said, well, now you don't have a Second Amendment right, okay? That leads to a whole nother series of events, but the point is that we don't have jurisdiction on Second Amendment. Like, we don't have jurisdiction on abortion, or we don't have jurisdiction on illegal immigrants. These aren't our issues.
No, we don't. But one thing I think Pickens County be doing is making a statement that we support the Second Amendment.
But we've done that in a resolution that we
We
made very
did a
clear.
Now, hold on, we're going to go one at a time. You guys go through me if you want to talk. So,
All right,
Councilman
sir, may I
Hendricks.
speak? All right, but I think we need to make a statement that we do support it. If you look what all kind of hell is going on in our country, that we need to make a statement where we stand.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I think this kind of draws a line in the sand, and what you're saying is right. We don't have a lot of say-so on state and federal law, but I'll tell you what, we have a person that the sheriff of Pickens County is most powerful law enforcement entity in Pickens County. And if Pickens County draws a line in the sand and as a collective government entity, we make it known where we stand on the Second Amendment, but not only the Second, the Fourth and the 10th Amendments. And a lot of that has a lot to do with how the sheriff does his job. And it gives law enforcement in our county an idea of where the county government stands on those issues. And this ordinance sets a standard for county government on these issues. It meets the expectations of county citizens and their support of the Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, and the 10th Amendment. If in the future a council more liberal in nature would need to appeal this ordinance before pushing restrictive ordinances or rules pertaining to the Second Amendment, the political resistance might, in appealing this, might be restrictive on a county council. In other words, the citizen of Pickens County's input on no, we don't want that done, may prevent another council from passing a red flag law. Pickens County has always been known for being one of the most conservative counties in the state. If this is true, this should not be a big deal. I know this wouldn't be for citizens. I know it wouldn't be for your citizens in your collective districts. It's certainly not for mine, and that's all I'm going to speak for. But this would be something people in the 6th District would very much support. I represent that district. I know how they feel about the Second Amendment, but looking at this, I looked at the Anderson ordinance. It's very good. It doesn't restrict any laws that's on the books right now. It just says as a county government entity where we stand on these issues. And that's, I think at this date, I think that's very important to put out with everything that's going on today.
Vice Chairman Bauer.
I understand the thought, I understand the passion, I understand the intent. It's ironic that on October the 7th of 2019, we had this exact same discussion, to a T, same discussion. I believe in the Second Amendment just as much as the rest of them. We all swore to uphold the Constitution, every single one of us. The sheriff swore to uphold the Constitution, just like we did. Every other elected official swore to uphold the Constitution. I don't think that intent has changed for any of us. I do have a small issue with this actual ordinance that was presented because I don't think that in any way, shape, or form can we tell the sheriff that if federal law changes that he can't follow federal law. I don't think we have that authority, and I may be wrong. I look for legal minds to tell me otherwise, but I feel pretty confident if state or federal law were to change, what we said goes out the window, which is the exact same conversation we had on October 7th of 2019. I feel like we stated we supported the entire Constitution as it stands a year ago, and my feelings haven't changed, and I assume you guys haven't either, because I haven't seen anything else come out or across. I understand the passion and the intent, but I don't think it's necessarily the right thing to do. I think it discredits what we did a year ago. I think we made valid points then, and I think if a year from now we had the same discussion, I feel the same way. I do want to say that the most important thing any of us can do to ensure our rights and our freedoms are protected is get out and vote. That's at the federal level. If you don't want to go liberal and you want to stay super conservative, get out and vote. If you do want to go liberal and you don't want to be conservative, get out and vote. That's the most important thing any of us can do. And that's just my thoughts and my feelings on it.
Well, so here's what I'm thinking on this. So this time last year, you're right. We sat here and we were having these same discussions. And this time last year, it was very confusing because what was presented to us, and Councilman Hudson, we were one of the first ones to point this out. The group that brought us the ordinance that they presented, actually, if we would have approved that, the sheriff couldn't have arrested anybody that was involved in any kind of a dispute involving a firearm. So I mean, it was so prohibitive that it was actually almost impossible for us to do.
Can we have a recess?
Yes, sir. 5-minute recess.
Is he okay?
I'm not trying to make it mad.
Check on him.
Come on, sit down. Let's sit down. Let's sit down. Let's
He's a
sit
nurse,
down.
so that's good.
Yeah, that's true. If you got somebody back there, that's the one you want.
Yep.
I don't know if procedurally I did that.
Call an
right,
ambulance. Call an ambulance.